So this is a story about this guy I was talking to about 2 weeks ago. So I downloaded the Meetup app because I was like, you know what, let me give it a try again. I never really got into joining the groups and stuff. And so I was like, let me see if this could work out for me, and maybe I can start making new connections and whatever through that. So I downloaded Meetup and I joined this one group, and through that group, through all the groups you can see the members, who the members are. So I was going through the list and I was just curious. I was like, maybe let me message this one guy just for the shits and giggles of it all, right? So I messaged him and I was like, oh hi, just wanted to introduce myself and say hello, I'm also a part of this group. And he messaged me back and we started talking, and he was like, oh hi, yeah, that's so cool, what other groups are you part of on here? And I was like, oh, not many, I kind of just came back on. And so we kind of got talking with that, and then we started talking about our interests and things that he's into and things that I'm into, and what we like to do for fun and all those things, right? I wasn't thinking any sort of way about dating or any sort of romantic relationship. I was just like, this is just a connection. We're just making a connection. We're just, building up the conversation. Now, eventually, he messages me through Meetup and he's like, hey, if you're comfortable, can you, would you want to give me your cell and we can talk off the app? Now, shout out to my friend for putting me onto Google Voice. I gave him my Google Voice number. I didn't give him my direct cell phone number because I was like, if this doesn't work out, and just, you got to be able to earn getting these actual digits. I gave him my Google Voice number and he messaged me I want to say a few hours later, towards the end of the day. And he was like, hey, random question, can I see what you look like? Keep in mind, because I was so new to Meetup and I never really used it much before, I didn't have a profile picture on my profile. So that's also why I guess he wanted to know, because he's like, I didn't see any profile pictures of you up there. Now, I'm a little skeptical, I'm fairly new to using dating apps and things. And so I was like, wait, I have a question for you first, because I've never had to disclose to a guy before about my disability. And so this was the first time for me to do that. And I was like, let me see what your reaction is and what you say to me after the fact. And so I didn't respond to him. I literally took a day or two, and then I responded. And I was like, well, first I have a question. I was like, how do you feel about being friends or anything with someone that's blind? And he was like, oh, I'm totally cool with that. Are you blind? And I was like, yes, I am. And that's why I wanted to know. And he was like, oh, I'm so sorry to hear. And then he's like, well, that's really impressive. And I was like, okay, yeah. And then he was like, well, if you feel comfortable, do you want to tell me about that? And I was like, no. And so I was like, but, that never stopped me from doing the things that I wanted to do. That's never stopped me from being independent. It's never stopped me from living life. It's never because he was giving that pitiful, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that you're blind, type of thing. And I was like, but then he was like, no, but I'm really cool with that, that's totally fine, I don't have a problem with that. And he was like, and then he just said again, he was like, wow, I'm so impressed by you, that's amazing, I didn't know that. And I was like, well, duh, you didn't know, because I literally just told you. And after that I was like, yeah, anyways. And I gave him my Instagram, because I was just like, you know what, here's my Instagram, and if you choose to look at my pictures or whatever, that's all on you. And he has not messaged me since. So here's the issue that comes about when you're someone that's living with a disability and you're also trying to be in the dating world and just making connections virtually, not even thinking about dating, but let's just say as making connections and friends. This is one of the biggest hurdles that I think people with disabilities experience, because we have to go through dealing with the rejection of, if you're really feeling the connection with someone and they just choose to completely reject you because of your disability, well, in all honesty, you know, forget them. But other than that, it's like, it's really hard when you want that level of independence for yourself, but people don't always try to make it seem like they are actually as cool with things as they say they are. And so, as my friend told me, she's like, you know what, that just leaves the door open for better people, people that actually care and that are actually generous enough and not ignorant assholes to actually, you know, step in. And I was like, yeah, you're right. So I'll be talking more about dating with a disability on my podcast. Be sure to check it out. Link is down below.